Hey everyone, my name is Andrew Davis, and you're watching Conversations in Pop Culture. And yes, I am scandalous like an Ashley, and I do want to remind everybody that this episode is brought to you by my friends over at Pocket Jack Comics. They just finished up an awesome Kickstarter, House of the Golden Princess. If you are nice to Preston and Pocket Jack, you might still be able to get a copy of that book. They are in comic shops as well. I'm sure that if you're extremely nice and polite to Preston Polster, he will happily hook you up, and he might even do backer kit, so you might be able to get a second chance. I don't know fully, but it was an awesome book. It's an awesome thing. It's Dungeons and Dragons. I think it's based off like one of the first female-led Dungeons and Dragons books that came out in the 1970s, and a bunch of them were like put into landfills and burned. So it's a fun one, guys. It's a fun one to read. It's beautifully done. It's beautifully illustrated. But enough about that. They got a Whatnot channel. Go check them out there as well. But enough about that, because I have with me Dwayne Madry, and hopefully I got your name right. Hopefully I got your name right. I should have asked. I should have asked before I started. We all can't be perfect. We all can't be perfect. But welcome back to the show.
Hey, good to have me. Long time no see. Just been in the lab grinding. We rebranded, did everything. So here we are on display. We come.
There are so many things I could say to that. There are so many things I could say to that. And I would like to remain in good faith in society. So I'm going to be an adult and definitely not say what's on the tip of my tongue, because I understand how to be responsible here and be a good host, not a bad one. But anyway, enough about that, enough about the jokes. You got Sahael going on. And I think I got the name right. Did I get the name right?
Sahael.
Sahael. I get it wrong every time.
You're good. Sahael. You're good. Sahael.
I get it wrong every time. And I know I'm going to get it wrong. But yeah, so what is the basic concept of the graphic novel / the novel? Because there is prose side of this. There's also a comic side of this. And I mean, it's a whole unit, might be a good way of how to put it.
Yeah, it's a whole, yeah. I mean, what's the concept? Afrofuturism. Okay. But I mean, where does that's a vast question. So good question. But I think
basically, I guess what I'm asking is that there's people who are going to see this for the first time and say, "What the hell is your book and your novel?" Like, does that make sense? Because that's where I kind of want to get before we really get into some of the story and some of that other stuff. Because I kind of want to catch everybody up. Because there's people who recognize you from the last time you've been on, and there's people saying, "Dude, who's this new guy? It seems like he's a nice guy, and what's his book about?" Like, I want to know.
Right? So Sahael, the Bloodlines of Sahael, is a 15-volume book series. So there's 15 volumes, and each volume's going to have between 5 to 8 books in each volume. So volume 1 is done. We rebranded, what I mean? And then volume 2 is in process of being done in the next month or two. All 5 books. We have book 1 out, but all 5 will be done within volume 2, and so on. So volume 3 will come out next Juneteenth with all 5 books ready to be on display. So, and so on. So you're going to have all of these books. Then for each book in each volume, there will be a graphic novel associated with each book. So when you read volume 1, book 1, there's gonna be a visual representation of what you just read in the graphic novel, which is around 80 pages each for each book. So, if there's 5 volumes, you can expect to see, 80 times 5, that's 400 pages of graphic novels, if you know what I'm saying. So you'll be able to see what you read, you'll be able to see visually. And that's what makes it cool, because what you see visually is set up for you to see it. It's not your traditional comic, okay? Or your traditional graphic. It's a graphic novel. But it's set up and it's done in a cinematic way. So what you're seeing it is like you're going to see it as if you're seeing it on the big screen.
So let's actually talk about that. So I had Tom Hutchinson on, and Tom's writing style has actually evolved into more of a cinematic writing style. So obviously there is a shift.
Yes.
And I'm going to call things out the way I see it. And it's not against you personally, but I noticed a lot more people in comics writing in a more cinematic way. And they're setting things up almost in a movie screen shot. in their books. Not everybody, and not every book you should do it that way, but
Correct.
there's clearly a shift in writing. So, I like it in some books. I don't like it in others. I
Correct.
like, but because also it's the writing, it's the idea of it. I'm trying to think of a book where it doesn't work, right? The cinematic style doesn't work for everything.
No, it
You
doesn't.
know, and there's things that it shouldn't work for. I mean, I'll give a good example. Pat Chan writes Destiny in New York. Destiny New York should not be shot in cinematic file. I don't know if you've read Destiny New York, but it's not the book to do it in, right? Um, there's a million reasons why that book is not the reason to do it. Cheeky, which is a not safe for work book, should also not be done in a cinematic file because that's called a porno. And I really don't want to that. I mean, it would be very bad to do that in a cinematic style. But what
Yeah.
is that like? Because that is, though, getting outside of me kind of just teasing a little bit and taking a little bit of a jab at you. But you could take it. You could take it.
Oh, I can dish you too. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's in good fun. But what is this like? Because there's been a massive shift into that, and that's becoming more and more in comics. So like, I don't now anymore view that as a secret sauce.
No, yeah,
but
you got to. I wouldn't. I would say it this way. So again, when I started cultivating Sahel, it was already going to be seen that way anyways, 20 years ago. So even though you're seeing this shift now, this was already in my mind back then.
So let me ask this then: do you feel that 20 years ago that this could have even been done?
Yes,
So you felt that that style could have been done and accepted? Because this is a really good question, right? Because I'm trying to think of a movie that 20 years ago couldn't be done, right? Does that make any sense?
it does.
So I don't know if the cinematic style in comics 20 years ago could have been done. I think the theory of it could have been done, but I
Correct.
don't know if it would have been received as well as it's being received now.
I liken it to like Star Wars. Remember when Star Wars came out? It was
I was not alive, so I don't remember. I couldn't help it. I'm sorry. Continue, please.
so I just remember watching it, before the new stuff came out in high school when they, what I mean? But I just remember seeing it and seeing the visuals. And the visuals are what captivated people. Even I was captivated by the visuals. The visuals are what got me. And so as I was crafting Sahel, those visuals really stuck out to me. And so I see it like this. So if you have something like, no matter what it is, even if it's brand new, let me back up. I had someone tell me this. So I worked at Toys R Us when I was like 14 years old, part-time. And he said, and this guy was probably 50, in his 50s. He said, when we used to play Cowboys and Indians growing up, the minute we saw Star Wars, we put away Cowboys and Indians. It changed the way we saw things, the imagination, everything. So Sahel's just like that. It's one of those things where I can honestly say there's nothing like it. And once you see the visuals, it's going to change the way you see things, just like Star Wars did.
But it goes back to the point that now in today's age, I think things are more open. I think people are even more open to ideas. If you were cultivating, you wanted to shoot it like this or build your comic like this, or even do, the way you were writing the novel, because I haven't read the novel. I've seen some of the visuals on the graphic novel side that you sent me, but it goes to the question where I don't think 20 years ago cinematic comic styling would have been received. I don't.
And you're probably right, because I've got people. I had someone on my team, and we talked, and they had said, I don't know if I can write it this way. This is different. This is difficult. And I told them, I said, look, it's not very often something of this magnitude is being done. So look at it as we're trailblazing right now. And once it comes full scope and they see it, yeah, it's cinematic, but the way we're able to get away with it is because the story is so vast. And once you see the story and you go through it, you're like, okay, there's a reason why it was written this way, because it's the visuals that are going to get people and draw people in, which is why not only is there a novel, there's a graphic novel associated with each book moving forward. And to make it better, If you look at the end of at the back of end of the graphic novel, one of my best friends, Steve Human, he used to work in TV. And so he was able, and this is what he's good at, he was able to adapt it to fit TV and cinematic to make it transition very, very smoothly. Not everyone has that type of talent or have those types of people on their team to make that happen. We do. Like I said, we coming.
I mean, look, I'm skeptical because
as you should be, but that's cool.
Entertainment's a bitch, dude. Entertainment's a bitch.
It is,
Entertainment is full of just a bunch of shitty people, for lack of a better word. I'm sorry if there's some of your friends. I'm sorry, but it is a brutal, ugly, messed up, blood, pigs rolling around shit type of industry. And it's not because there's bad or good TV. It is just brutal.
It is.
Hollywood is a brutal place.
It is.
I'm a big Bukowski fan. I love Charles Bukowski. And the way he wrote about his book, Hollywood, oh my God, that book is just a brutal book to read. It's beautifully written. But his hate and his disdain for Hollywood is unreal in that book. And it's just awe.
But I'm convinced, I tend to take the optimistic approach. I intend to, let them know, I'm here and we want to work with you.
You're wrong about a lot of things. I'm a pessimistic person, which means I'm right about everything because I'm right eventually.
Or, I'm an optimist, and typically I'm right eventually as well. So, hey, we can agree. I just feel that I know where we're going. I know it's going to take some people to get there, but I have a good attitude about it. And, with that said, that's why I've got a team with me to help make this a reality. Because there's going to be certain things I'm just not going to be able to do and talk to, but the people I have with me can.
No, again, I'm very pessimistic. I'm very skeptical. Chris Sacca said it really well on Shark Tank. He said, "Make me pay for this 10 times next year. What you're doing this year, I just don't believe you right now." And that's not saying I don't have faith that you'll be able to pull it off. It's the idea that sometimes I just don't see a vision, right? But there's been plenty of people who haven't seen. When I was talking about Netflix, I said go buy Netflix at $197 and it's at like $650 now. So I get that sometimes people can't see a vision.
I agree, and I can say this: the team we have, it's over 12 people, and I can tell you now, they see the vision, they see it, and I've told people, Sahael's going to be successful with or without you. You know what I mean? So I can see us having this conversation years from now when, we're doing hundreds of millions.
Well, we'll see. So let's actually talk about this, though, because this is actually interesting, right? Because I don't have a team behind me at all, but my business doesn't need a team. I have support systems with friends. I have support systems who are supportive. I have, entrepreneur groups that I'm a part of that we meet quarterly, and we're supportive of each other. We have conversations. We talk very privately and openly about our businesses that you don't want to talk about. So then somebody has a bad quarter, right? Somebody has a bad year. So then somebody just needs saying, man, my business is doing great, but my family life is fucked up from it. So there's plenty of entrepreneur conversations that occur,
Correct.
but that are not necessarily, you don't want to display it out in the public world. And that's why it's a private group of both men and women. It's maybe a group of like 15 of us, and we have a Zoom call, every quarter, and everybody just talks about what the hell's going on in their life. And so they're like, everything's fine. I'm going nice and slow. I grew by 2% and I'm happy. And me and my wife are expecting a kid and it's great and we're good. We just hope the kid.
Congratulations, by the way.
No, not me and my wife. I'm just using it as an example. I wish me and my girlfriend were having a kid. Oh my God, I wish. But we're gonna get married first because we think it's the right way how to do it. And also we're hoping that we get to have a year or two of fun. We're traveling, all sorts of stuff. Maybe some other stuff too, but no, I digress. But when I have a kid, the only thing I care about is my kid has 10 toes and 10 fingers. That's really it. So but my point that I'm getting at is that what is it like though to have a team, and also because I don't know if you have somebody who disagrees with you on your team. Because if I
Oh,
ever
yeah.
build a team, I'm going to hire somebody whose job it is to shoot a hole in every single idea. And it's the rest of the team's job to defend it. Because if an idea can't be defended, we need to figure out why it can't be defended and why we should do it. And this could be just an idea of, are we going to market using Facebook ads? Are we going to market using Instagram ads, right?
No.
Or are we going to go with TikTok route heavy? Those are ideas that really need to be, like, I need an oppositional person if I ever build a team.
Oh, I have that. It's my president.
But what is this like? Because the job is not to defeat the company.
Agreed.
It's to really substantiate an idea. And when they're right, they're about to save you a lot of money.
This is true. And, it's weird how you say that. So we've got our brain trust. And, it's funny because that's exactly what happens. Like when we, let me give you the background. So when you look on the cover, we've got Jess Havoc, we've got Damon Bowie, and they both used to do work for Marvel and DC. Okay. His art style is one of very 5 or 6 people in the world who can do his type of art. And he's with us. It just so happens being being black too, and on our team, and also with what we're building with Afrofuturism, it's it's a win-win. So when I first spoke to him, we spoke for 6 hours when I pitched to him about what I was trying to build. And I could tell he was avoiding me, but I didn't care. And we talked for 6 hours and he was in. And one thing I came away with my previous experiences was, once I knew he could see my vision, one thing I learned was, now that you can see my vision, I'm going to let you do you. I'm not going to get in the way of it, because now that you see it, I know you can bring it to the screen. I've already got the characters. So there's not, just do you and make it. And so what I've learned is, as I've gone through this journey, there's times when I've wanted to suggest something. And I've got the president of our company, he's been there to check me. He checks me every time. And it's weird because Damon would check me too, and so would Jessica. But the way they do it in a very constructive way and a respectful way. And so when and our CTO, like when I get pushback, I'm like, okay, I'm getting pushback for a reason. I want to understand what this pushback is. Help me understand what I'm not seeing. And so we've been good in that regard because, again, I've made it very clear to them. This isn't about me. This is about getting it out. My goal, my dream is to get it in front of the people, because I already know once it's in front of the people, they're going to swallow it like wildfire. That I do know. I've already seen it, and it's going to happen. So when it comes to stuff like that, I'm very receptive to take that criticism and use it to help the company. And so, and I've been told no. Like, again, there's people on my team that just tell me no. Steve was like, no, that's a bad idea. The president of our company's told me that. David's told me no. They're not afraid to tell me no. And I don't mess up. I don't go into something where I stay in my lane. They know what they're doing, and that's why they're there. That's the culture we're trying to create within Sahael. A culture where if you can disagree without feeling offended, you and explain your position. If you can't explain your position fully without the proper foundation to move forward, maybe then we're not doing it. You know what I mean? Everyone has to be on board, but the main goal is people are not working. They're not here for me. They're not here for themselves. They're here for Sahael. That's the culture. We're here to get Sahael out so people can see it. And once they see it, it'll take care of itself. It's a no-brainer for us.
I mean, that's an optimistic approach.
No, it's the culture we're creating in the company.
Again, I mean, I run a very different business. My products take care of themselves for a reason. There's a reason why I want to find products that sell themselves. And with a little bit of marketing, a little bit of push, get it right in front of certain people and build it that way. And that's
on that. You said products that sell themselves. This is something I took into account when I did this. So I've been fortunate to land in jobs or the products or software was so good, it kind of sold itself. All I had to do was kind of have a working knowledge of what it did conceptually and show competence, show some competency, and then talk to people about it in a coherent way. And not only was I able to do that, I became very successful at that. I know that's how Sahael was built. It will sell itself.
That's what's going on with my YouTube channel is that the interview and the interview is actually not the product. This is not the product on my YouTube channel at all. The product is the cut up micro content that is specifically targeted out of it. So for instance, we're talking about building a team right now. That is the product because then I can micro cut that up, get a 4-minute clip, tag it appropriately, say how to build a team or what is the objective of building a team, question mark. That's the title. Then you put all the right tags. You're running through tag software. It pops up the top 100 tags that you need. You pick 50 of them. You hope you pick the right 50, but if you pick you pick half the 50 or the lower 50 out of the top 100, you're going to get traction. And then also people come in and you get subscribers, and then you eventually get ads and you get a bunch of other stuff on the channel.
Is what we've done with Sahael.
So that's what I do in my YouTube thing, and then you put your eBay business right in front of that for 2 seconds with a QR code, and you're going to naturally get somebody into your system.
Yeah, naturally.
So I mean, but I figured out what's working, and and then you do it consistently, and that's the key too.
There's nothing but build after that. At that point,
every day. So from January to June, every day, Monday through Friday at 3:00, there's been a video that's come out consistently. Yep. Except every 13 weeks, I take a week off.
Yeah.
Just so everybody doesn't have to deal with me for a week.
Well, that's why I say, like, for example, you could go look right now, and I've got one right now where if you look at one of our ads, it's there. You know what I mean? And it's going to start building because, again, from a visual standpoint, it's very captivating where it's one of those things that draws you in. And so one thing I was looking for with Sahael is I wanted the artwork to pop. When you see it, it does something to you. It was magical. And that's what we have. And that's why I spent 6 to 8 hours talking to Damon Bowie to get him on Sahael.
So let's actually talk about this, though, because obviously you have to have a product, right?
Yes.
I mean, you got to have something, right? So I've gotten into this shit. I don't use a mic on my show. He'll give me shit on my background. And I'm like, I'm just interviewing people and we're talking. And I get it that it's not a perfect background, everybody. Deal with it. I get it. The audio is not the perfect audio. And I'm not going to go spend $9,000 going to a sound studio for an interview show that isn't necessarily directly making money. But what I am, I'm building out solid content to the best of my ability. And I think content is king. And I think that's the product. I don't think that it matters that I have a cheetah and a white wall behind me. And if you think that, you should have freaking neon lights, like, well, fuck you. That's not really what's going to make or break. Because I've seen great I've heard horrible shows with great presentation and great like visual and audio, and I'm like, there's nothing here.
Agreed. Ooh, funny you should say that. So I know exactly where you're coming from. So that's something you'll see within the books.
You can disagree with me, by the way. You could say, Andrew, your background.
No, I agree with that. You see a lot of. I'm not going to say I know what shows are like that, but I don't. Again, I ain't trying to slander nobody. But there's some shows that are great visuals, great presentation, but the story is bleh. The story's terrible. There's a lot.
I mean, we could talk about it on comics. There's plenty of comics like that. That's the easiest. I would say 25% of Kickstarters, they got amazing covers. They got a great Kickstarter presentation. You open up their book and you're like, it's not necessarily bad. It's average, but there's no story there. There's no why. There's no what's going to happen next. And I just spent $20. I would have spent 10. If I spend $10, my expectation is different than when I spend 20. And I don't know if that makes any sense for you or if that affects you, but if I just spend $25 on a book and it's an average book, and then I could get the same average quality in my comic shop for Marvel or DC, I'm basically saying I could have just bought Batman of the same quality, of the same story, and I could buy 5 issues of Batman average or your book that's average.
So check this out. I'm gonna get real close.
I'm not saying that's your book. That's not
I
what
know.
I'm saying.
I know. I'm gonna say this.
It could be, but it's not.
Sahael ain't average. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Sahael ain't average. Sahael is not even above average. Sahael is top.
It was
level.
a joke. It was a joke.
I know that, but I'm just letting you know, what Sahael is. Because you touched on something really important. You touched on content. And if there's one thing I prided myself on was content. And how did I go about the content? Well, I knew if I took actual truths and built the content off of real truth. However, I built it off of controversial truth. And so when you put it in a fantasy setting, you know as well as I know, controversy sells.
To a degree.
Now, is it full of controversy? There's controversy built in it, but there's drama as well. And then there's the fantasy element that makes it easy to digest while you're experiencing all of these things. And and by the way, Batman don't look like me.
So many things I could say. I'm just not going to say anything. I'm just not going to say. There's so many things I could say. No, because I go back to you have to have content. I mean, we'll go back to my YouTube channel for 1 second. I have 1,500 videos on YouTube now.
Yeah, you got content.
I have a library.
You do.
And that's why it's working. I did more than what I did in the first 6 months of this year in both watch hour and viewership.
I remember. I watched your stuff. I watched you. I know.
Then I did all of last year, and it's J curving out. And I understand that I won't get monetization for another 2 years. But the second I do, it's not going to be $10 on YouTube. It's going to be $100 every single month. And what I also learned is that there's a lot of hot flashes in a pan that come and go.
True.
And I've seen it with influencers. I've seen this before. And I was having a conversation with my good friend Paul Gomez the other night. And he was explaining this like YouTuber who was doing nothing. And then she basically said, I'm going to go out and pay for a connection. And she got all these people like Mark Cuban on, and she got Megan Trainor on. And I said to Paul, I said, basically, I don't think she's going to last. I don't think she's going to last another 2 or 3 years. I don't foresee this because she bought entry point, and after a while, people catch on to that you are not ready for this. Yes. I have spent 10 fucking years getting good. Not great, getting good.
Oh, I know.
I'm not great yet. You might think I'm great. People say, oh, dude, you do a great show. And I'm like, I'm just getting good. It's going to be another 10 years before I'm even great. And it's going to be another 10 years when I'm 50. Then we can start talking about me being exceptional.
Fair enough.
But the point is that along that pathway, I'm going to have 4,000 interviews in that whole docket. And now all of a sudden people are like, holy shit, he cannot be no longer ignored.
I see that.
And so this is why I go back to content as king. And I have a whole theory with comics, and I'm curious what you think, is that I think every comic creator should create as many comics as they possibly can.
Yes. Now
the question becomes is that how fast can you get me your content? And when you're running, and this is my biggest pet peeve on Kickstarter, is that you do 6 stories a year and you haven't released story 1, and then you go to another one, and you're running a campaign while you still have production on the other. That is my biggest pet peeve, is that you're taking my money, but you're also asking for more money for a different project, and then another one, and I'm eventually going to get my book, but you're running multiple projects all at once, but you still haven't delivered on what I backed you for the first one, even though it's a different story.
So here's one thing I can say about that. So I ran my first Kickstarter and it was successful. Everyone got their stuff. So I'm not worried. They got their stuff in a timely manner. And one thing we've done before we even launch a Kickstarter, we're going to make sure we have what we have in store so that when we do launch it, it's already here and you already get it. We operate 90 days ahead from a Kickstarter standpoint. So we're already going to have volume 2, volume 1, book 2 already done when we launch the Kickstarter for volume 1, book 2.
So I don't have a problem. I'm going to clarify. I don't have a problem with people not necessarily printing their book or there being a position, but like there's been people who haven't started production and you're funding your book and then you raise money. And I'm like, this is kind of a little messed up.
I agree. Yeah. See, yeah. Well, I can say that's just something we don't operate with because I know how it worked. I ordered something a while back. I won't say who, and I ordered it, and then I didn't get it for another 6 months after I was supposed to get it in 3 months. By that time, I didn't want it. That's not us.
I'll say something. So Pat Chan was supposed to deliver Destiny New York Volume 6 in September of 2023. I backed it in September of 2022. I got it a few days ago. I still want it. Don't get me wrong. I'm excited for it, right? But I'm not happy with my experience. I'll back Volume 7 because it's 13 volumes. I'm now committed, right? It's unfortunate where I want to know how the thing ends. So I'm committed, but I'm very hesitant to back anything but Destiny New York from Pat Chan because he was late. Because the way I view it, and maybe I'm wrong on this, and I understand I have controversial opinions, everybody, but I'm willing to have a discussion with Pat about this anytime. But when the day you take my money, you got 2 weeks before the clock starts ticking. Even if your delivery date is a year out, every day you have my money is a day that could be earning interest in my high yield Apple savings account at 4.25%. So if I back your book for $200 and you're a year out, I am giving up $4.25 for your book to pack. Or no. If it's $200, I'm giving up $9, give or take. If then you're another 6 months late, I'm giving up another $2 or $3 on top of that. So it's not $200 that I backed you. It's $200 plus interest plus opportunity cost to do something else that could have been in my hand.
I agree.
And so that's why you have 2 weeks and then the clock starts ticking. Now, if you meet your deadline of what you said, that clock is irrelevant. The day you're late, one day over, that whole time that I've been waiting means you're late.
Agreed. And this is why our company culture, is what it is. We don't operate that way. And so for us, experience is everything. And we've got those on our team who are experienced to ensure this is something we won't have to work. You heard it here first. You ain't got to worry about that with us. When you pledge, you'll get your stuff in a timely manner. That's all I can say. And I stand by that. Write it down, take a picture. Here it is.
I think it's a problem on Kickstarter. And look, I run a business where I pre-sell cards, right?
Yeah.
There's sometimes I can't help something, right? I'm sorry that Panini was not ready for the WNBA. I'm sorry, everybody. I don't know what to tell you. Here's the deal. I picked up a Caitlin Clark card for $4. They sell for $40. Right now, I can cancel all my orders and legitimately turn $100 into a G. You know what's happened? None of my customers who bought those, I released 2 and I sold them for $40, but that was after the fact. But the other 20 that I sold, first and foremost, they were sold at an $8 evaluation. So maybe you have to wait 2 months, but my response is that if you want me to cancel your order, I could sell these for $40. What do you want me to do? And you know what happens? Somebody's like, dude, you're not screwing me? What the fuck, man? Because I had somebody ask me if I had like the Caitlin Clarks, because now they're going for more money and some guy canceled them. I said, dude, that's fucked up. I right now could turn $100 with ease into $1,000. Cancel all my orders, release them, they'll all sell. But I'm not going to do that because they ordered that 2 months ago. I had the money. It would be unethical. It would be unethical. It would be bad business, but it's just immoral.
Exactly. And that's just, it's not a win-win. If it's not a win-win, no one wins.
I'll win it. It'll be great. I'll make a lot of money, but I'm not going to go do that because I want those customers to be like, oh shit, this guy could have fucking screwed me. And yeah, sure, he was 2 months and he said it was going to be 40 days, but he didn't fuck me over.
Agreed. And that's how, well, it's like I said.
It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me if I fuck people over.
It's called karma.
Uninvertedly. People are going to get fucked over. No matter, when you run a business, somebody's going to get fucked over somewhere. You're going to get fucked over. I'm going to get fucked over. My customer's going to get fucked over. It's going to happen. I try not to fuck people over as little. I try not to do it as much as possible. If that makes any sense.
No, it makes complete sense. And I believe in karma. So for me, I treat people the way I expect to be treated. And sometimes people don't operate that way. But look, I've lived and I've learned, and I've been on both sides. But at the end of the day, it hasn't changed. It's just made me more. It's just made me more aware of certain people and certain tendencies that I know when to avoid and how to avoid.
I'll throw it this way, right? I was in one of these business meetings. I was in a different business meeting. We were talking. I said, when somebody starts asking me a certain question on eBay, I know immediately to hit the block button on eBay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the way a question is asked.
Same with Kickstarters.
When somebody starts saying, "When can I expect the card? How is it going to be packed?" And if I say, "Dude, Panini ships them in a top loader," you're not, my fingers aren't gonna touch it. Legitly, if I dip my hands in neon green paint, the card would not be affected. Would you like me to do a YouTube video and show you what I mean? It's like, dude, I'm just gonna buy it. Like, I had to guess it, dude. Just. I'm sorry that I even asked. I'm just gonna buy it from you now. Like, it was a very funny conversation because the guy didn't expect the thing, but like, I know immediately when somebody says it's gonna be shipped in bubble wrap, this, and they start making like crazy demands. I'm just like, no, man, don't buy from me. I'm blocking you because I don't want your business. I know it immediately because I've been around so long. But this is a far cry from your book. But
Well,
it's interesting, right?
it
This is
is.
so interesting because it's tricky because you need to have skin in the game, and this is why I become disenfranchised on Kickstarter, to be quite honest, because I've been burned and I'm sick of waiting. And it's not just Kickstarter. I understand. So I buy cards from Topps, which is baseball. They give me my cards in 20 to 25 days. Panini is catching up, and that's fine. Shit happens, but it should be for Panini about 3 to 4 weeks. Kickstarters, it's a crapshoot.
It's a, I, you know, I think
It could be 3 weeks. It could be 9 months.
not with me.
My experience on average with a Kickstarter is about 7 to 8 months.
Okay, well, and that may be the case. I do know with us, which is why we've taken the different approach of making sure we have it in hand before doing what we do.
Fair enough.
I'm not going to do it on faith. You know what I mean? Because I was successful. I've done it on faith, and it was successful. It was a lot of work, but why put myself through that much work if I don't have to?
Fair enough. But it requires you then to pre-order and pre-spend.
Which is, I would rather do that so my customers have that peace of mind of knowing they're getting their product.
See, it's interesting. This is where it goes to, though, is that because this is the dilemma, right? Let's say I'm brand new. I might not be able to do that. I might have to be in faith first and get to the point. And this is what I so for those who don't know, and this is my business, is that I incurred a lot of debt in the last 18 months that has slowly been tinkered down, and it was an on faith building of a business. I am now moving into a position where I'm doing what you're doing, but there was no other way how to expand and get the business to the next level on eBay without doing it through debt and doing it through an on faith almost type position. But I
Correct.
incurred the debt that covered it, that covered the product, and then I pay myself back, and then I pay myself in the debt down. And I was smart enough to know how to move debt around well enough that I never paid any interest, or I paid minimal interest on it. But I would have rather have done it the other way, where you have a $10,000 slush fund and then you operate that way, because that would have been way less stressful. But
That's
I
what we
didn't.
did. That's what we did. And I used my own money to do it. And here's the thing, I jumped in with 2 feet.
There was no way how to do it the other way for me, where I was at. I understood that I had an idea how to tinker down debt efficiently, and I did. When you tinker down $70,000 worth of debt in 18 months and expanded a business, there's a lot of credit that's owed for that.
Agreed.
But again, that doesn't mean it wasn't stress free. Doesn't mean that there weren't nightmares. Doesn't mean that you weren't sleeping some days. Doesn't mean that you were concerned about paying your rent and paying other problems. Doesn't mean that there were other things of balancing money and doing certain things, and also figuring out how to take risk. And again, though, maybe I got really lucky.
Yeah. No,
Fair
I
way.
get where you're coming from. You know what I mean? But that's the approach. I've done it on both sides, and you know, it's more like you said, it's more stressful to do it on faith. I'm not doing that again. You know what I mean? I'm just
I don't want to do it either. I don't want to do it either. Let me put it this way: if I have $1,500 worth of debt on my business in a 60-day cycle, that's nothing. That's nothing to me. That's nothing. 1,500 is just so easily
correct.
addressed. When you have a lot of cash flow, that's easy. When you
Yes.
have 40,000, that's not so simple.
No, it's not. And that's why we took the approach we did. And it still required faith because you got to pay the artist and everything. But at the end of the day, I'm happy we went that way because now we have the opportunity to build with the Kickstarter, get that back, and just keep doing it over and over again. And it's just for and once we get to a point where we don't need to do that often, we'll be in a different we'll be in a different tier.
Let's actually talk about this too, because there's also the idea with Kickstarter where you fund and then you recycle money and then you recycle money and you recycle money, which is exactly what I'm doing with my eBay business and dealing with that is that you're recycling money, first dollar in, first dollar out, buy new merch with the first dollar in, first dollar out, and then you take your profits and you hope you hit a few home runs that really make a dent in your debt and less product, right? It was also smart with the WNBA because of the Olympics.
Yeah.
That gives me a 5-week break, which allows me 5 weeks of sell through, which is beautifully helpful. This is all intended. The last 2 months, I've learned a lot about women's basketball. Let's just leave it at that. I am quote unquote an expert now in women's basketball. That was not on my bingo card, everybody. You said, Eddie Davis, in June, you are going to be a women's basketball expert in cards, particularly. I would have said, you're full of shit. It turns out that's what happened. But it's interesting, right? Because what is that like too? Because you're going to be recycling money through Kickstarter. It's a way, I guess, how to pay yourself back, right? And then pump it back in, and also potentially maybe take some money out and start putting it back into a slush fund for something else. But let's say that you do 90,000 on Kickstarter, right?
Yeah.
And then you're obviously, I don't know if you're going to make a profit at 90 or you're going to re-put it back in or re-put it back into the business
Goes
or
back to the business, not touching a single penny.
I don't know. I'm not. What I'm asking is that, and I'm not asking you to answer it. Is part of that going to go back into the slush fund, refill the coffers for a rainy day when you need to tap that, and then also you're going to be printing books, doing things with the books, and then it's also going to go into the next volume or the next issue or the next graphic novel too, and then what happens 4 or 5 down when you're doing 100,000 each time on Kickstarter? Would you leave Kickstarter or would you continue on Kickstarter? But would you also say, look, we're going to use Kickstarter now just as a, I guess, pre-order form versus a funding of the book form?
Good
Because
question.
you're not any, you don't need, to me, your Kickstarter is a pre-order form. If you have everything relatively covered, minus a few things here and there that you're going to need on the Kickstarter, if all of a sudden you blow up and you do $2 million, you're not ready for $2 million on a merch level. No offense. It's just you're not, you don't have the inventory for that yet.
No, I know that.
But
That's a good problem to have, though.
No. You understand where I'm going with this. If
I do.
you got 50,000 on Kickstarter, you might be a little shy of inventory what you need.
I have that in inventory now.
But humor my argument. You understand my argument, right?
Yeah, I do.
Because to me, your Kickstarter is a pre-order form. It's not a Kickstarter as in a traditional, I'm trying to kickstart a project.
Agreed. Yeah. No, yeah, because the project's up and running. This is more or less to build, like we already have the foundation built. This is more or less to give it stability, like you said, because we know 2, 3, 4, and 5 are going to be in the 100,000, like you said, the $100,000 range, and all it's going to do is
hope it's going to be there.
No, it's going to. I don't hope it's going to. Okay, I stand by that.
Fair enough. I hope I thought a lot of things are going to be where they're going to be, but I've learned very, very hard that that's not always the case.
Agreed. But not everyone's me.
I love the confidence.
I think Kendrick said it, you know, I mean, like when I talk about my company, Sahael and the people, there's that song where he says, they not like us, they not like us, they ain't like us.
I know the feeling. I know the feeling, which very few people could handle $70,000 worth of debt while investing, while working a 9 to 5 job and move money around. It is a unique skill, and God bless me. And how the fuck did I know how to do this? I have no fucking clue.
Exactly. You just it's something that you have deep within that you've come that you didn't know you had, and now you have it, and you're like, whoa. You take it and you run with it.
And also I just know where to find money. I know where to find trends. I know where to find things that are hot, and I understand things, and I know how to boil things down to simplicity.
Right.
If you didn't catch the Caitlin Clark thing, if you didn't get it,
Oh, I got it.
I mean, if you didn't get the Angel Reese thing, if you didn't get why this was important, legitly 2 months before the WNBA season started, it was crystal clear. And the defining moment was the UConn Iowa game.
They should have lost, by the way.
I thought that UConn thing was bullshit. I lost like $1 on that game. I was so devastated. No, I didn't feel comfortable betting on that game because it could have gone either way.
Yeah.
That game could have gone either way. And I thought that last call was some bullshit, but I thought UConn was rather classy about it.
Oh, they were, because I would have been on fire.
They said, look, we shouldn't have put ourselves in that situation. I think UConn versus, what was it, South Carolina?
Mm-hmm.
Was it South Carolina?
Yeah.
I think that would have been a better game.
Yeah. Yeah. So, because they matched up pretty well with South Carolina.
I think Iowa just I think those girls were small. They were just
basically giants against little people.
Not to get really political here.
I don't mean to sound offensive when I say
no, it was funny. I don't care. It's not wrong though. It's like it was legitly like I'm going to say this the next time I could say it. Those South Carolina girls were big girls. They were big girls.
Bigger, stronger, faster.
It was bad, dude. It was not a good game, man. It was not a good game.
Hey, man, but after that first quarter, you know, it was like, hey, they're gonna win this game. I'm like, okay, easy. They did everything in their power. Everything.
The LSU Iowa game was a great game.
Yes.
That was a great game, but it was crystal clear to me. So, but it leads me to a point, and where I'm going is that what is it even like to figure out the audience with this? Because that's the trick right now in comics, right? And that's the trick with any property is how do you find your audience? Or conversely, are you just going to throw content out there? Because I take a different strategy on YouTube, right? I'm taking the Peacock, Netflix, and Disney Plus approach, which they're not really marketing their products and a lot of their stuff. They just build out and have a fuck ton of content. So if they have a hit, you're on platform, and then you got everything else there. Peacock doesn't need to market to you because they have everything there for you.
True.
And so that's my approach on YouTube is that, I mean, I'll share out an interview, obviously, but I'm not looking to massively market this because I just have 1,500. I'm going to have 1,600, 1,700, 1,800, 1,900, 2,000 videos. It's going to discover itself. And then I take a social media initiative, things like TikTok and Reels and other things that also help get attention. But I take a algorithmic approach as well. So like, what is that like for you? Because I don't know what your approach is on social media because I don't know how efficient Facebook ads are. I don't know how efficient posts in Facebook groups are anymore. And I think figuring out an audience and how to get somebody's attention right now is so fucking hard.
It is. You know, we took the approach of doing the ads, you know, on Facebook and Instagram. You know, we've got a page, and so, but I can say this, it's actually been effective. But what I've learned is when you have an idea or a concept that's been realized and it can captivate individuals just by looking at it. That's been one of our biggest advantages because there's nothing like this out there. It's been easy to get followers because there's not a whole lot of Afrofuturism content out there. And that and now when I say content, I'm talking like solid content, solid content that has legs, that can stand, in my opinion, the test of time, that measures up to the stuff you've seen in the past. That's why I'm so confident and optimistic, because it's one of those things where you can be so sure of something and it's going to work, and then when you see it out there, you see it. Like I said, it's Dune meets Wakanda.
And so obviously, I mean, you're growing, but I mean, do you have an idea what the conversion rate is going to look like, or is that still needing to be figured out? Because it's great to get it in front of somebody, but you also got to convert, and then also you got to figure out what is your average packer's backing number, because that's the trick too, right? And then because if you get a conversion rate of 100%, but everybody's only giving you $1, that's fantastic, right?
True, but it's not going to get you to your number. Right. So as far as our conversion, so here's what I know about that.
Unless you don't know. If you don't know, that's fine, because this is your first run out, right?
Well, no, I've done it. So where I live currently, there's not a predominant Black population. However, in the small sample size that I've done where I'm at, Utah, I've done extremely well. Okay. With that said, I know for a fact when we get to Houston, when we get to Detroit, Baltimore, Maryland, DC, I already know I'm going to sell out.
But you must have an idea based on, if you're running ads and then you're getting page follows, you must have an idea of where people are and where you're centrally located, right?
Yeah.
So, when I'm running ads, right, I forgot who explained it to me, but he's like, you should target places like Houston or Washington, D.C.,
which is what we've done.
2.5 million people. You should target, even, I mean, I'm a show for everybody. So I have no connection to any creed, whatever you want to be, sexuality. It's whatever. But if I know there are wrestling hubs, right? Ohio is a wrestling state, right? So if I'm trying to find wrestling fans,
and there's wrestling in Sahael.
Fair enough. No, but you understand what I'm saying. So I know that Ohio is known for two things. One of them is wrestling, and the other is dominatrix. And most people don't know that apparently Ohio has a really big BDSM community. I have a lot of friends in a lot of interesting places. Let's just leave it at that.
I've seen some of your interviews.
Yeah, those. Yes.
There's times where I'm like, oh, okay.
There's some fun stuff in there. There's some fun stuff in there. I don't know if you saw the Stephanie Stolz one. That was a blast.
Yeah, that one was.
She's a Kentucky girl.
Was that the cover? Was that the one where she had the cover?
The cover?
There was one where a cover was very graphic.
I don't think. No. Stephanie Stolz is like a legendary porn star.
I'm thinking about. You had one where you had a lady on and she had a cover, and it was quite graphic.
I'm trying to think who this was.
I commented on it, so you'll have to go back and look.
I don't know. It wasn't Savannah Fox.
It was. I just remember I was just like, I was looking and I was like, huh. I was like, interesting. All right. All right. I left it at that.
I don't know who this was.
You had her and she was getting pretty graphic.
What was it? Christy something was Demon Bitch?
Yes.
Oh, Demon Bitch is a whole different thing. Demon Bitch is whatever. I like her. She's great. I can't think of her last name. She does Demon Bitch.
But I remember the cover and I'm like, oh, all right. Okay. As I mean, I was like, I like the car. I wouldn't buy it because, that's the, but she had Hey, she had passion.
Demon Bitch is a fun book. It's a really fun book, and it's social satire.
Yes.
It's really a social satire book. It's a great book, but like figuring out your audience. I mean, this is the issue, right? Because at this point, I don't know how you feel about it, but it takes a lot to get me to back people's campaigns now.
That's fine. I'm not worried because I know in the future you'll be backing me.
No. I'm not even talking about your book. I'm just talking about even getting me interested, right? Because I'll explain. There's a lot of shit out there, right?
There is.
And this is the conversation I've had, is that the reason why I don't read a lot of American comics right now is that they're really fucking expensive.
They are.
I mean, I'm right now reading a lot of manga. So my Shonen Jump app cost me $3 a month. And when you have things like Naruto on the Shonen Jump app, you got Bleach, you got, I think, Sakamoto Days is on there. You got so much content that for $3, if I'm reading 150 to 200 chapters, it goes down to being legitimately a cent a chapter.
That's true.
And it's on my iPad, and there's just so much content, and it's almost like clockwork. And this is my issue, is that I don't want to wait anymore for this. Like, my favorite thing about Netflix is that it comes out all at once, so I could binge it.
Like Rebel Moon.
I mean, did Rebel Moon come all out at once, or is it coming out in parts?
It came out in parts. You're right. The second one's coming out in like a couple months.
What was it? Rebel Moon, and there was like a Lattice something, or Atlas.
That Atlas came out, and so did Suits. Suits came out the whole thing. So
Suits. What do you mean Suits?
Suits season 9 came out too.
Hold on. I thought Suits was a USA show.
It is.
I thought the whole thing was done like years ago.
Yeah, but they ended up they did the newest season as well.
Oh, that's good. I didn't know that. I watched like the first like 2 or 3 seasons of Suits. I enjoyed that.
There's 8.
but that's my thing, is that I just don't want to wait for content anymore.
Well, that's the thing about that's the approach we took with Sahael. We set it up so that you wouldn't have to wait for the content. So everything is done rather than in faith and don't have it. We have it in hand while we do it. And that's the concept we're taking forward. So you can best believe. And what I'll do for you, I'm going to send you a copy, because I was going to send another one, but I didn't, because I was revamping it.
Life happens.
But you can see it, and you're going to be like, okay, this is legit. And then
make me a believer. Make me a believer.
Oh, I'm going to. And then and then you can go on and say, okay, and these are the words I want to hear. Before we even start the show, you're like, Dwayne,
I was wrong.
A believer.
Yeah, I was wrong.
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna write it down. Dwayne, I'm a believer. I was
wrong.
And then put the L7 next to yourself like this. Okay.
You're not gonna get that far. You're not gonna get that far. No. I've been wrong about things, but I've also been right about things. I've been really
but this is one you will be wrong about.
That's fine. I'll happily be wrong about it. I have no problem being wrong. I have I have a theory, right? So I'll give you an example. I've been wrong about stocks, right? Mm-hmm. I was a big believer in Sirius XM as a stock, and I was wrong about that stock. I was also a really big believer in L Brands, and I was really right about that stock. I was really right about WWE, which then became TKO. So I've been wrong about things. I've been right about things, but I'm not basically saying I'm wrong about something because I want to be wrong about it. It's that I honestly believe X, and then sometimes you just get it wrong. It doesn't mean anybody's a bad person. It just means that I just don't see it today, right? There's plenty of things where, and then there's plenty of things that I'm glad, oh my God, I that would have been a great idea. I'm glad I didn't touch it though. I had the ability to, I'll give you an example. I got no problem saying it. I had the ability to invest in Double Impact. Ricky Calteras, whatever guy who did Double Impact. I didn't trust Ricky at all. That thing was sold to Comics Elite. The question why I didn't trust it is that it had been a 15% stake, and I didn't trust that Ricky was going to deliver anything, and I didn't even know what I would have bought. And I was glad I didn't invest. Would I have made a lot of money? Yeah. Did I trust that it would have been good? No. Did I trust that it would have went south? I felt it would have went south, right? So Was I wrong to not invest? I don't think I was wrong at all. Was it potentially a good opportunity? Sure, but I just didn't trust it, right? So
Yeah,
I have no regrets on that because I didn't think the deal was solid enough.
I feel you on that. No, I get that. You know what I mean? Because even with the best of intentions, and you go into something, things may not work. You know what I mean?
Again, I think that theoretically I was wrong because I didn't make money, and I would have made maybe 50, 60, $70,000 on that for 25K. But at the same time, I didn't trust the deal was solid enough. And then what happens if it gets sold? Who do I sue, right? So like this is the issue, right? And so I'm glad I didn't touch it. So that's why I say that I would rather be proven wrong about something. And I've no problem saying, well, I was wrong about that idea. I've been wrong about people too, but I've also been right about people.
True.
And so I right now, I guess, sometimes, it's just that's what it is. And that's how I feel. But again, I'm skeptical because also I'm coming at this from a different angle too. I've been told a lot of things from people in comics.
You're right.
We're going to take care of me. I've been told a lot of things, and I've been fed every bullshit lie in the last 10 years.
I
So
respect that. Yeah.
I'm not coming here with no experience. I'm coming to be quite honest. And it's not even a case for you. It's a case for my audience. So when people see this, they're like, oh, man, Andrew's not being a bitter old grumpy old man. He's coming because he's taking all of his experiences that he's had where he was promised the world, and 90% of the time it's not delivered.
I can see that.
So I come in at a jaded position.
And you have every right to feel that way. I respect that because myself, I always come from the standpoint of you're only as good as your word. And one thing I do is I do what I say and I say what I do. So when it comes to Sahael, which is why we've taken this stance to ensure you as fans don't have to second guess or no, it's not coming. It's coming.
You just said it really well, where you are only as good as your word. That is not the standard in indie comics right now.
Well, it is with us. And I think
I hear you. What? I mean, it's not a defensive jab at you.
I know.
It's the idea that I've had people say, "Oh, I'm going to send you free books, man. I'm going to hook you up. I'm going to help you out. I'm going to send you some stuff so you could auction it off or give it away as some giveaways." Nobody does it, and then I make a statement, and then they hold me to that statement. They quote unquote call it hazing, and then my response is that you told me X. I've had people say, "I would love to advertise with you." And then I fill out a questionnaire, and then they come on my show and say, "Yo, let's talk about this." Say, "Oh, I wasn't interested in that." Why the fuck did you lie to me? Then I have people say, "Cool, I'm sending you stuff. It never shows up." And I'm like, they ask for my address. And then a few months later, say, "Hey, what's up, man? How are you?" They're like, "Who are you again?" I'm like, "You don't remember we did an interview 3 weeks ago or 3 months ago?" And that happens. And then they're asking for artists. And I'm like, "You don't recognize my name, dude? What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And then I send them like the interview, and then they don't respond.
I agree.
I've had people who I've still got my neck for, and they become bigger in comics, and now they don't want to talk to me anymore. And then they say, "I don't do interviews anymore." And then 3 weeks later, they're on 10 shows.
Yeah. See, we know where we come from. That's something you don't have to worry about.
And I had a teacher who I put this up on Facebook, and he said people are ashamed of where they've come from. And so I have no problem if I'm on a stream, I'm going to start mentioning names. I say it's Achman's Razor. They must be ashamed that they were on my show when I stuck my neck out for them. So what does that say about me?
Says you're a good dude.
Yeah. No. It says that I am shameful for helping somebody out. That's what it says. That's exactly what it says. And so why should I have any indie startup on my show ever again?
I agree. Well,
explain to me, everybody, and that's the conversation. And I'll name people, and it's big companies now, and we're gonna have really complicated conversations. And I don't think people are ready for this. I don't think they're ready for it, and it's not going to be well received. But it's honest.
I agree. Well, that's just it. You got to stay true to who you are.
I like that person a lot more than lying, to be quite honest. That person's a lot of fun to be around.
Yeah.
and it's coming out, and I'm doing better than ever.
Oh, I
Because
know. I've been following.
so that's how I feel. But
Just know this. I definitely want this to be consistent because I
this
see
is
a
never
point.
happening again, guys. We're done after this. We're getting divorced.
What I do know, well, because you don't want to come online and say, Dwayne, I'm a believer. I was wrong.
I'll come on your show. If I'm wrong, if I'm genuinely wrong, I will happily admit that I was wrong. I was like,
And you will be. So don't worry. And you will be.
see, this is a friendly conversation, so that's why I'm laughing. But no. Seriously, if I really found your book to be well put together and thought out, and I was like, oh man, I was wrong. I had an opinion on this, and I was expecting X.
I'm gonna go to the post office tomorrow and mail it out.
That's fine with me. The point is that I don't know. So I used to watch Master Chef with Gordon Ramsay, and my favorite guy was I think season 3 with Leslie, and then Joe thinks Leslie was not seasoning his puree and ruining the truffles, and then Joe tastes the thing and he's like, I was wrong. And you could just see Leslie's face just drop. He's been getting beat the shit up the entire season, and you can just see his whole face. He's just speechless. He's like, just say nothing. Just say nothing. And you can just see Leslie wanting to say something. And Joe just says, he was a judge, just say nothing. Just say nothing. And then it was great. So that's the point. Leslie didn't know how to respond to Joe. He's like, finally. And you could just see his face was shocked. And then it was that moment where Joe was wrong about Leslie. And that was what was great about it.
I gotta check that episode out because I like watching Gordon Ramsay.
just type in MasterChef Leslie and watch all 4 parts. It's the best experience you can watch of somebody being a troll, but backing it up. The lyric is, I talk a lot of shit, but I back it up.
Okay.
It's not going to make you any smarter. It's just going to give you pure enjoyment.
I'll check it out. Okay. I just wrote it down.
It's great. So I got no problem admitting when I'm wrong. I'll say I was very skeptical, and I'm glad I was wrong. If it is, right? I've been wrong about plenty of things. I've been right about plenty of things. And I was not wrong about Angel Reese. I can tell you that.
Well, no, I think I think Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark are the bird and magic of the WNBA right now.
I think Kate Martin and Nikita Mule are also very much underrated.
True, but the thing is, I think the problem is they just have so much popularity with them.
Nikita Mule is what is known as a sleeper. She makes me just as much money as Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese does, but she doesn't get the credit for it on cards. She makes me just as much money, and so does Kate Martin. The reason why Kate Martin does, because I think it's Kate Martin, she's on the Las Vegas Aces.
Yeah.
She makes me
those. Oh, Kate Martin played at Iowa with Clark.
Yes. She was there in the audience at the draft, and they pulled her out of the audience.
Yeah, because she wasn't expecting to get drafted.
It was really funny. It's a funny moment. She's like,
she wasn't expecting to get drafted.
She was pulled in the second round.
Yeah.
She was just there to support, and it was crazy. But like those 4 women make me a lot of money. But the one that I'm really excited for is in 2 years from now is Juju Watkins.
Oh, she's on a different level. She's gonna smash the points record.
I don't know who's gonna smash it. I don't know, but I mean, I have
all 4 years. She's gonna get $2 or $3 million a year.
What is she making?
She's going to get $2 to $3 million a year, if not more, and play all 4 years. She'll make more money in college.
Yeah. I mean, she's got a lucrative deal with Nike right now.
True,
so look, Caitlin Clark's got one of the best Nike deals.
Yeah, but I think Juju's going to surpass her.
It maybe. I don't know exactly at the moment, but Angel Reese has got one. I mean, Panini has.
She can dunk, bro.
What?
She can dunk.
I would like to see that because I haven't seen that yet. I'm not saying she can't do it. I just want to see it.
Yeah, she didn't practice, and I was just like, it's on YouTube.
I don't know the she's going to be able to dunk in a game. Like it's tricky because the way the women play is very different than the men play. They play a tighter defense, and this has nothing to do with like it might sound sexist, but they play a tighter defense, and I think it's harder to dunk in the WNBA than it is in the NBA.
They're more defensively sound too.
It's also more of a team sport in the WNBA.
Mm-hmm.
It is way more of a team sport.
It is, unless you're Asia Wilson.
Oh, I love her. I mean, I just stole one of her autograph cards. I have a lot of her autograph cards. I have a bunch of Breanna Stewart autograph cards. I just brought some in. I mean, like oh my god, like I'm selling this shit. I can't wait. In about like 4 weeks from now, I'm getting a Juju Watkins autograph card.
Ooh.
So she threw out one of the first pitches in a Dodger Stadium, and so basically within about 10 minutes they all sold out. But I bought 2 of them.
Not bad.
One of them for like 300, maybe 350. I might raise it up a little bit because she's good. The card's worth it.
I would wait to sell that till after she graduates and goes pro, number 1 overall.
This is my problem, is that I gotta cash flow it.
Fair.
Because I'm running a business, but I'm keeping one for me.
Cash flow everything else.
I'm definitely trying. The issue is that I just bought 2 very, very good Angel Reese cards.
Okay.
So I bought 2 Vipers. They're up on my Facebook page if anyone wants to see it, up on my personal Facebook. So it's when she basically did the rookie double. I bought that Viper, which is a 1-on-1 card.
Mm-hmm.
In the Viper format. So that's a rare card. That's like a $500 to $600 card. And then I just today got another Viper of her. That was 150. And that's her breaking that record of doubles.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So
okay. I think Juju's going to come in and break. Not only is she going to beat the doubles, she's going to beat the scoring record too.
Maybe, but right now Angel just did it, and those cards are worth money.
Yeah.
And again, those things. So to get a Viper, there's 3 people who get a lot of Vipers, and I'm like the last at the table, and I know the 2 people on eBay are pissed off that I have it. because it's $500-$600 for them. That's now not on the table.
I'm gonna run to answer my doorbell real quick. I know who it is. Can you hold on? It's just give me a minute. Give me like 2 minutes. Okay. Thank you, man. All right, I'm back.
So this is I think the Viper that I just bought.
Okay.
So you can see it's like the snake skin Viper, and so that's a 101. Angel Reese breaks the double record, and then this is that same card in a Jaguar version of that, which is limited to 10. And I bought 2 of those, and those sold out really quickly too. This one is really hard to get. Where me and a bunch of other people, I'm surprised that I got one of these. And then these sold out really quickly, and I sold one of those for $100 when it was a $40 card.
Interesting.
So like this is what I do in my business, and I sold that card to the same guy who bought technically 3 of these today for $115.
That's what you were saying, yeah.
And bought 2 more cards. So he bought 6 cards for a total of about like $630.
It's not bad.
$630. A lot of money. It's a lot of money.
Yes, it is. That's not bad at all.
And he was happy to pay it, and he paid me, and I'm gonna have to adjust the shipping because I wish he waited so I could actually give him a little bit of a discount on shipping. Not be a dick about it. So I'm gonna do that probably on Monday when I'm a lot more sober.
No worries. But no,
I have a 5-day break, everybody. I don't get those all that often. I took Monday off. I had the 4th off. I got today off. I got the weekend. I purposely took Monday off because I'm going to play with my niece.
Okay, that'll be yeah.
So
I took a 4-day weekend.
most people understand that this is not the weekend where business gets done.
True.
And most people know I'm not a dick about this, and that I get people their cards as soon as I get them. So it's whatever. But yeah, I'm super excited for those cards because that Viper's in my collection.
Well, I like it. I'll have to start looking at some of those, just to see where they go. But I think when Juju comes out, I'll go out of my way to get some of those.
I'm excited for her autograph card. I know it's worth money. I know it's worth money. I knew it the second I saw it. And then there's the regular edition of those that I bought 20 of the regular editions for 90, and those are coming before the autograph one.
Okay.
And what's nice about the cards that Topps does is that it's an on-card autograph. It's not a sticker.
It's okay. It's on card. Okay. I was like,
that's a whole different ball game. That means they got to bring her the card for her to sign it.
So that on the card part.
So the card is built. Then they got to get her to sign the card. First thing, signing a sticker and then putting the sticker on the card.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So there's two types of autographs, right? There's a sticker. So, man, I wish I had one. I probably have something in my files here that I could probably pull up. But it's crazy, right? Because it's a whole different ball game when you have on autographs versus non-autographs. But
Yeah.
I digress.
I'll have to check it, take that. But no, I think so. But yeah, I get it. I'll have to check some of that. I used to collect cards all the time, but I think now that I've gone, with work and having to choose my hobby, this is definitely, my hobby.
I get it. I get it completely. I'm actually finding the image to show you what I mean. This isn't my card, but I'm gonna pull it up anyway. Because it'll be relevant to this conversation on everything. So I'm just gonna pull it up. This is my competitor's card too, which is annoying, but we can't all be perfect here. But it's really cool actually what they do. So that's what it looks like. And I'll give you a chance to promote yourself and tell us what's next. But it looks like that.
Ooh, okay.
But so this is so it's limited 99 down to 49 down to 25 down to 10 down to 5 down to 1. So you don't know what you're getting because it's in that sealed black pack.
Interesting. Okay.
That's why this is interesting. So I pulled Dr. K, Dwight Gooding, and I pulled a number 6 out of 10 on that one.
Okay.
Autograph. So obviously, if you get it, that was a $70 card. This was a $200 card. So even if you got 99, it's still a good card.
Yeah.
But the fact that I got a 10 on it was dope as fuck.
That's what I'm saying. So,
and I'm a Mets fan, and this was his jersey retirement at Citi Field. Now, the one I wanted was actually a higher number. It was number 16 because it was pinstriped. So they went from 99 down to 49, down to 25, down to 16, down to 10, down to 5, down to 1. The 10s technically are a lower number, and they're in red. I wanted the 16 because I wanted the pinstripes.
Ah, okay.
I think the 16 is worth more than the 10. Even though there's 6 more of them because it's Shea Stadium, Citi Field, New York, pinstriped.
See, that's my team, the Yankees.
But it's kind of like if they retire Aaron Judge's number, that'd be bad. He's 99. He's not a good example. He's a bad example of that. What's Derek Jeter's number?
He was 2.
That's also a bad number. So this is I'm not. Dwight Gooding was number 16, right?
Yes, and then
they did 16 of a pinstripe card for his 16th jersey number in a special pinstripe edition. The 10 is in red. It's less cards of that, but it's not as cool as the pinstripe. And then they retired Dallas Strawberry, but they didn't do an autograph for him. But if they
Correct.
did 17 of those in pinstriped, you get where I'm going with this, right?
I do.
It's kind of like if they did Mike Piazza and they did 31 of a special edition that was pinstriped for like New York Mets' colors. That'd be great, right? I'm trying to think of like a Yankee who was like number like 24.
Wasn't Hideki Mets? No, he was 20. Who was 24?
I'll give you an example, right? So the guy on the Yankees threw a perfect game.
Cano. Cano's 24.
Great. So if they did Cano and he was like the best Yankee ever and they retired his number and they only did 24 of that card, but then they also did 25, you would want the 24 versus the 10.
Yeah.
Because the 16 is so much cooler than the 10.
That makes sense. I can see that.
But the fact that I randomly pulled the 10 of a Dwight Gooden is dope as fuck. But like I'm so tempted to even take down both of them and open both of them up and see what I get. Because again, if I got like a 5, that's a valuable card.
Well, it doesn't hurt to. I mean, it doesn't hurt to open it.
It changes it because the people who want that want a blind open.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I bought 2 of the Dwight Gooden cards and I didn't open up the other one.
The purists want the opening.
Because some people want to buy it and they don't even touch it and they don't know what's in it, and then they resell it years later. Because if the 101 hasn't been found or there's no 5 of 5s that have been documented, there you go.
True.
So it's a complicated position. It's a very complicated position because this is the issue that occurs. But those Jujus sold out so quick.
Oh, I'm sure. She's the next best thing.
I'm surprised I got 1, man, and let alone 2.
Yeah, she's the next best thing. I already know that.
It's the same thing with those relic cards that sold out that I showed you before, which is this. These sold out within a few minutes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you showed me that.
They did another set baseball on tops, and those things sold out so quick too. Those things sold out. So they did the 6 players that Mikel, I forget his last name, did. And those things sold out like wildfire too. And I bought 2 of them. And I sold my first one for $160, and then I kept the other one. They were $50 a pack. It paid for both of them, and then I made like $20 on it. And I was so excited. I cracked open a beer in the middle of the day. It was great because I didn't know if I was right. It was great, but anyway, I digress. Why don't you tell us what's going on next with your book and where can people find you?
You know what's next is the Kickstarter's coming. Please join it. We're on Instagram at Sahelian, SAHAELIAN. There's creator of Sahael, IAN. But we're there. We've got ads, we've got content, we're growing. We're trying to hit over. That's where we're headed. We've already got, it's prepared. We're working on the covers. We're only going to have a certain amount of covers. That's it. And they're not coming out no more, with variant covers. So we're doing all of that. And, obviously there will be one for each of the graphic novels, but, because there are those, like you said, there are those who want to collect. So that's what's coming. There's just so much coming. I mean, I could talk for hours, but, I'll tell people, if you liked Lord of the Rings, if you like Star Wars, if you like Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, if you like, imagine all of those into one with the colorness of a Marvel, but the darkness of a DC. That's Sahael.
Fair enough.
Yeah. We coming. Like Dion said, we coming.
Fair enough. And then obviously I've been saying it for a while that if you like something, you want to support something, you got to go out there and buy it and back it and check it out. Give it a shot. Follow people on social media. It goes a long way, whether that is X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, whatever it is. I don't know where exactly you're at, but I'm sure
we're on every platform.
I'm sure if they find you on your website, they're going to find the rest of your social media.
This is correct. Yep.
If you can't do it, you have a bigger problem. So maybe you shouldn't be backing a Kickstarter if you don't know how to get to somebody's website.
This is true, but I want, like I said, and I want to stand by this. I'm going to send you that copy so you can Say
Fair enough. Again, if I'm wrong, I'll admit it. I have no problem
if,
being wrong.
when, not
I'm wrong
if,
about a lot of things.
not if, when.
I'll say this. Look, I was wrong about cryptocurrencies, and my opinion changed.
Fair.
And so now I'm a big crypto guy. I'm not purely crypto. I mean, obviously, it's like a 3 to 4% position in my portfolio collectively. But I have a crypto position now. 3-4 years ago, I didn't have one. So obviously, things change, right? And it's all right that things change. I wasn't anti-crypto. I just didn't get it, and I wasn't full on board. And then now I am. So I have no problem being converted. That's not the issue here. It's that to convert me, sometimes it's a path, and there's nothing wrong with that. And it could take 2, 3, 6 times.
A path I'm willing to head down.
I've had this conversation where how do you get somebody's business, right? You got to keep knocking sometimes. And sometimes you got to say, cool, I would like to exterminate your house. You got an exterminator, no worries. You hit them back up in 6 months. Say, hey, you still need an exterminator, or if there's a problem, here's my business card, just let me know. Or if you're a plumber, you say, hey, we're a plumber, and if there's a problem, just let me know. And guess what? Sometimes, it might take years. It might take 19 years. You might have to keep asking. You might never get it. But sometimes, you ask once, and then 6 months, they're like, yo, this plumber can you come here? Absolutely, I'll be there. So that happens. But enough about that. I'm going to promote myself because it is my show. I am Pop Anime Comics on the thing known formerly as Twitter, now known as X. So come check me out on Twitter. I am Pop Anime Comics on the Instagram. We're having a lot of fun there. Cool stuff's coming. Pop Anime Comics on Facebook. That's always a good time as well. I'm not as active there. I am Pop Anime Comics on TikTok. There's some cool stuff coming. I don't really promote my TikTok too much for a lot of reasons, but some cool content out there and some fun stuff's going. I also am Pop Anime Comics on the YouTube. If I didn't already mention that, go check me out there. I might have already mentioned it. I'm redundant in there. And I also have an eBay store. So look for comics and collectibles. Come shop with us on eBay. I kind of showed some of the stuff I have going on. No, my Angel Reese's are not for sale. Don't ask. Legitimately, I was going to talk about this today, but they sold out.
How about this? Let's say if you're wrong, you give me an Angel Reese.
I don't have any more. I don't have any more.
How about one of those Jujus?
I don't have any. I mean, I'll send you a base Juju all day.
No, I want one of those, the signed ones.
I don't have any of those either.
you have 2 of them, right?
I don't have any of those either. No.
You said you had 2.
Now I'm going to be selling the other ones because it's a $200 card. It's really expensive.
I'm just saying. It's a friendly wager.
No, because I know I'm going to lose. That's the problem. I'll send you like a base Angel Reese for sure.
Done.
No that. I got no problem doing it. I'll send you a base Juju. I'll send you like that because base cards aren't. That's not over the top. It's just that like there's just too much fucking money. Like $115 card is way too much for my like. It's just business. Like I like the fact, and also I ran out of these. I have one for me, and I'm so happy that I have one for me. And trust me, it's a blessing because you don't know if you're right. You don't know if you're right. True. And when you're spending $300 and you don't know you're right, it's terrifying. It is terrifying. I thought I was right, but it's terrifying because I have, I have all like 15 of these still, and they will sell eventually, but it could take years. True. It could take years, or it could go in a minute, right? Like I have like half of these have sold, right?
Yeah.
I bought 10 of these, and I have like 5 left, but I didn't know. I thought they would have, but that's just it. It's John Cena, and he's the greatest of all time. But again, I have an eBay store that sells things like this. I have an eBay store that sells stuff like these Angel Reese cards, which are really cool. I do have these beautiful cards still in regular edition. And those are like $7 cards, $7.50 cards. Same thing with this one, But again, this is a $100 card. This is like a $600-$700 card, easy.
Yeah.
So I mean, if these sold out, so if you see this on eBay and you could snag it for $80, everybody go take it for 80 because I just sold one for 100, and I wasn't moving on my price on that one, and my buyer knew it. He knew it, even after he just spent $520 with me. He knew there was no moving on that card with me.
All right.
that's what I got going on. But also I carry some other cool stuff like this in my store, which is coming.
Okay.
And then I do have, some stuff like this still. The regular edition of this is coming in my store. I may or may not have one more of these still available. So again, I got a lot of cool shit in my store, and that's everything I got going on. And
Yeah.
doing a lot of fun stuff. And yeah, so that's kind of everything that's going on. And I'm just gonna give a little sneak preview that I have my good friend Tommy Bell coming on tomorrow. So we're gonna be talking about this. And we are going to be talking about one of my favorite things in life, which is, hopefully I can find it, which is this. No, not that. That's not what we're going to talk about. We're going to be talking about some of this. So I love fighting mermaids, and potentially that is going to be fun to talk about. And this is going to be fun to talk about. That's going to be interesting to talk about. And this is what I wanted to talk about. She's really, really hot in real life. So, if you want to find out what we're doing, it's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow. So that's everything I got going on.
I'll tune in.
It's going to be a blast. It's going to be a blast, and I'm probably going to be half drunk doing it. So it's going to be great.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
It depends what half of me is going to be drunk, though.
I'll be messaging you throughout.
Of course you will be, because it's going to be a blast. It's going to be a blast. But anyway, enough about me. I'm going to give you the final word. Where can people bother you, find you, hit you up?
Yeah, you can find my URL. You can go to my Instagram. It's got our link tree there with everything connected to it. Or you go to our website, Sahael.com, www.sahael.com. So everything is there, and our Kickstarter as well. So please follow it. Please back it. We're waiting to get a certain amount of followers before we launch to ensure that not only we are successful, but we are above and beyond to ensure that not only our project is successful, but that it, but that it endures. And so, we've got staying power. So join, the sooner you can get in, the better, because again, in the next 3 to 5 years, we're going to be major players, and you'll see that.
No, I don't think I could have said that any better myself, everybody. And that is a wrap.